everybody, and welcome to the newly rebranded Star Wars Barbershop Talk, where we talk all things and everything Star Wars. Now, with us today, joined with me is my buddy James. James, what's up, man?
Not much, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and of course, on this end is me, Brian, and today we are going to be talking about Star Wars: The Bad Batch, as everybody knows by now. They just dropped a brand new trailer of the new Bad Batch animated series that's going to be coming out in May. So for this video, we're basically going to be going over some of the major takeaways that me and James have after watching the trailer a couple of times. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first major thing we got to talk about quickly, right, is the 70-minute premiere. That's basically like a whole ass short movie. What do you think? How do you feel about, James? How do you feel about the 70-minute premiere?
It's good. I like it.
You like
More screen time for the show is always better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's like following a trend with Disney Plus content is trying to be a little more substantial than a regular television show broadcast. So
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. Yo, so do you think it's gonna be 70 minutes for the whole series, or do you think it's just gonna be the premiere?
I'm not sure. I could see it going either way. Like it could just be just to start off the series. They want to give a more substantial, like maybe a whole introduction arc for the premise of the show. Or like I said, maybe they could just be trying to just make each episode a lot more substantial, like how it feels like the Disney Plus content has been trying to be.
True, because but yeah, I mean, since you said it's going either way, that would be pretty crazy if we get like 12 episodes of 70 minutes of each of them with 70 minutes. That would be a lot. I would love that, but honestly, I don't really think that's gonna happen. On the contrary, I think it's gonna be. I think it's just a premiere. I think actually the first episode I think they are going to use that 70 minutes to basically cover the entire Kashyyyk arc that was cut from the original ones. In case some of you don't know, which that there was a cut Bad Batch arc, right, where Bad Batch visited Kashyyyk. You can see it in like the unfinished. In like one of those unfinished episodes. But yeah, so I think the first 70 minutes is going to be about that. And then afterwards, it's going to be basically about we're going to get into like the main story, right? Which is basically going to lead into our next point is we want to talk about the story. So basically, I think everybody probably has a general idea of what the story is going to be. It's going to be about the Bad Batch kind of on the run after disobeying Order 66 or some sort of order, and also they are just dangerous, right? In the eyes of Tarkin, right? These guys are dangerous, as we hear Tarkin say, "Oh, these guys, they can take on an entire army." But they are.
It's almost like they're uncontrollable. So and that's what Tarkin has a big problem with that.
Yeah, and they don't like taking orders compared to like the other clones, right? So speaking on that, right? Do you think the Bad Batch has a problem with taking orders because of what they are? Because they are genetic defects? Do you think that's the reason why? One of the reasons why they're just really bad at like following orders?
Well, something I'm not sure if it's been clarified before, but like, do the Bad Batch like have chips in them?
Right. But yeah, so that was one thing that I was actually gonna talk about, but yeah, since you brought it up, I actually think, in my opinion, I think the Bad Batch. How should I say this? I think they actually don't have the. Or wait, do you remember if the clones are like, if the chips are like implemented in them at the right when they're like fetuses or babies or?
So yeah,
or
so like it depends on like what's canon right now. So in Legends, technically in what is it? The video game. What is it called?
Republic Commando.
Republic Commando. Yes. So in the opening cutscene for that, it's kind of weird. Like you literally are in the first person view of a baby in a bottle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I think we already have the chips implanted by that time.
Okay. But yeah, if anybody remembers what it was, please let us know down in the comments below. Because to be honest, I haven't watched the whole arc with Fives and stuff for a long time, so I don't really remember the details. But I do think that the genetic defects have something to do with probably them disobeying Order 66, maybe, because maybe it screwed with their chips. Right?
Like I'm thinking because they've been shown to be like a cut above regular soldiers, right? So let's assume like maybe they did get the chips in, like based on the technology and the intelligence that they've displayed and what they have, like it's not unbelievable that they could find these chips and figure out what they're about and remove them preemptively, right? Like
yeah.
We have a guy that's part cyborg, right? Like so.
Oh yeah. And then we're definitely. I think we're gonna dive into Echo. What's going on inside of his head, right? Since he's basically turned into a cyborg by Wat Tambor and his people. So did that have anything to do with maybe disabling the chip, or maybe the chip was like unintentionally removed?
Yeah.
Right. So that's gonna.
Yeah, it could be that whatever they did to him like messed with the chip, and then he was able, because of that, he was able to mess with the Bad Batch's chips.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that their genetic defects definitely has something to do with maybe their chips perhaps not working, or maybe it did work, but then they were just kind of like, they're like, no, this is.
Well, maybe it's like right. Like maybe what you're saying is right with the genetic defect.
Yeah.
Like maybe the chip is there and it worked, but. For some reason, maybe because of the defect, they were able to ignore the commands that it was telling them to do.
Probably, yeah. Very
maybe
likely.
That's why Tarkin is like studying them, right? Yeah. When he's talking in the trailer, he has them below in the training room, and he's watching them fight things.
Exactly, yeah. But one thing we can certainly confirm is that this does. It will take place after Order 66, right? Because we hear Saw Gerrera saying the Clone Wars are over, and we see the Bad Batch. They were like not in their armor; they were like on the run and stuff. So that is one thing for sure. So we know it's going to be after the Clone Wars. Now, with all that, basically, or actually, before we go on to the next point, is there anything else part of the story that you think they're going to cover? Or do you think it's just going to be all about them, like, on the run and whatnot?
Well, honestly, I was thinking about this. Like, the Clone Wars, it was definitely featuring the Stormtroopers, or like the Clone Troopers, but it also had an emphasis on the Jedi, right? So, like, I don't see them having this story not include the Jedi in some form and fashion. So, like, I'm curious to see if they're going to play with that, right? Like, it was always the clones and the Jedi in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like that's a core component of the formula for the show.
Yeah.
So, I've got a feeling that maybe they're going to find some way to have some type of Jedi story mixed in with the main story.
Yeah, but, and speaking of Jedi, I do think Quinlan Vos... There's a good chance Quinlan Vos is gonna be in it. Although honestly, I personally doubt he's gonna be in it. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was, because he was kind of one of the more well-known Jedis that didn't really get a proper closure, right? Of kind of what happened to him after the Clone Wars, right? If he survived Order 66 or not, or generally what happened to him, right? After,
at least not in the current canon, because there are legend stories that cover his story.
Right.
And I believe in the legends, though it's no longer like part of the main story, but he does end up with Ventress, Asajj Ventress.
No, that story is canon. Dark Disciple.
That is?
Dark Disciple. That is a canon story, man.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is a canon story. And
We do know his story, how he ends up. He does end up dying, right? He gets turned to the dark side. He turns her to the light side. Then he gets captured and turned to the dark side. And then she rescues him, and I think he ends up dying at some point.
No, Ventress dies. Spoiler alert. Uh, for all of you who haven't read the novel, but no, Ventress dies, and I do believe that takes place before Order 66. Although I'm gonna have to look up into that. I don't really remember exactly if that takes place before, but I'm pretty sure it takes place before. So yeah, and one of the things is also that I think everybody is hoping is Commander Cody, right? Are we going to get some sort of kind of closure to Cody's Clone Wars arc? Because the last time we saw him was him shooting, was basically him executing Order 66 and then telling the ATTE to shoot down Obi-Wan. That was kind of like the last time we really saw him.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, like, everybody was wondering, like, what happened to Cody, right? What is his fate, right? I'm talking about canon, by the way. I think Legends, they told us what happened to Cody, but canon, we never really got what's happening with Cody. And then since Captain Rex showed up, right? I'm pretty sure we're gonna see how he was able to get Commander Wolf and Gregor on his side, and how all three of them like ended up together.
That'd be cool to see the journey from where we saw them in the Clone Wars to like
Rebels.
In Rebels,
yeah. But yeah, more on Captain Rex later. But yeah, so another one of so the next major talking point that we have in this trailer that is Crosshairs. Right, and why Crosshairs is because for a lot of the shots, right, that we see in the trailers of the Bad Batch on the run, we see 5 of them, but the fifth one is not Crosshairs. It's that blonde kid, which again I will get into in a bit, but yeah, we only see Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, and Echo, and then the kid, and we don't see Crosshairs with them while they were running away. So James, do you think like at this point it's pretty much confirmed that that Crosshairs is going to be going up against them?
I don't think so yet.
Okay.
I don't think we've seen enough. We did see glimpses of him in the trailer, right? But we don't really see enough, I think, yet to really say whether he's on their side or not. And it'd be interesting if like maybe the story has something to do with like a redemption arc for him, if they like he's hunting them down, but they're trying to like get him back on their side, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of redemption arc, do you think it's going to be one of those where he's going to like sacrifice his life at the end to save the Bad Batch?
It could be. That could be interesting. Like he's chasing them the whole series, and then at the end,
he's like, nah, this is wrong, and then
he's like, good soldiers do not always follow orders.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see something like that happening. But for me, I think it's pretty much like 99% confirmed that he is going to be on the side of the Empire rather than on the Bad Batch.
All right. You're calling it now?
I'm calling it now. I mean, the trailer, some of the shots kind of like just completely gave it away. Right? Unless there's like some sort of twist.
It does kind of make him look like he's hunting, right? Like it shows him like sniping and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Aiming down the sights,
but hey, I'm all down for a twist. You know, if there's like some sort of plot twist or whatever, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I mean that would be interesting because it's also if we think about it, right, like between the original 4 Bad Batch. Okay, I'm gonna exclude Echo in this. If you think about the original 4. Crosshairs is kind of like the only one that's actually like serious and like hard. He's like the hard-nosed soldier. He's all business, you know. Like you hear like the other 3 like joke around, right? Even like Tech jokes around a little bit, even though he sounds serious. But it's pretty clear that you can hear like a bit of a joking tone in his voice and stuff. Hunter jokes around, and of course Wrecker, he like everything he does is just a joke to him, right?
Jokes.
Yeah. So and then Crosshairs is kind of the only one that just seems like he doesn't want to be there. So I think it's.
So he seemed like more like of the 4 of them, he was more like the traditional soldier.
Exactly. And I think he's gonna be the one taking orders and then taking Yeah,
Yeah, like maybe he chooses to obey Order 66, whereas the others like choose to rebel against it.
exactly. And it fits very in line with their characters and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty much calling it now. Like I would be surprised. Actually, yeah, I would be surprised if there was something else. But hey, I'm all down for a surprise, just as long as it works, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So the next thing we're gonna get into is, I think this one is one of the bigger ones that everyone is talking about. Who is that blonde kid? Right. But first things first. It seems like people don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it seems.
It seems like a girl to me, but
yeah, same. It seems like a girl to me. So for the
let
sake
me
of
pull up the picture of her.
yeah, so for basically for the sake of this video, you know, we're just gonna assume that it's a she, okay? And if we're wrong, like, you know, we're wrong, like, but just
Yeah, we'll find out.
we'll find out exactly. But for now, for this video, since we're just
Just the way the hair is put up. I could be wrong, right? Like guys wear their hair like that as well, but
Yeah.
I guess like I don't know, with children it can be harder to tell the difference.
yeah, and then like
Animated children, all the more.
yeah,
difficult.
and a lot of like animated children, they like animated like little kids, right? For boys, they use like female voice actors for it anyways, right? You know, so
Yeah.
we never know. So who knows? It could be a guy, but I'm leaning towards that. You know, that the kid's gonna be a girl, and yeah. So basically, the subtitles, right, confirmed. If you watch the trailer on the official Star Wars YouTube channel, the subtitles kind of confirmed that the kid's name is gonna be Omega. I don't know, James. Did you catch?
Okay,
catch on to
yeah,
that?
I just put the subtitles on the like the still I have from the trailer, and I see that.
Yeah. So
That is the name.
Omega is the name, and I looked it up on Wikipedia. They got a whole page up, so I'm gonna assume that is the name because the subtitles, everybody like all the voice like they got the names correct. So I guess Omega is the name of the girl. So
I didn't even think to check the subtitles.
yeah. Right. So the thing. So yeah. So who is she? Who do you think is she? Do you think she's a clone?
It kind of, I don't know. It's tough because like I could see, like it would have to be a guy, I guess, to be a clone. But I could see that being the case. Like just looking at the facial features, like I don't know. I could believe that they would look like a clone.
Yeah, and
Same time, like why is it dressed differently? And then he or she has like blonde hair. I noticed the eyebrows are still brown, but the hair is blonde, and it's wearing like metal on its forehead.
Oh, wait. The eyebrows are brown.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't notice that. Wow, good eyes, man. Good eyes.
Yeah, it's just because I have the still up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that.
But yeah, I didn't even catch that on even when I was like looking at the picture. But yeah, speaking on the brown eyebrows, right? So I was like looking up. I was kind of like flipping between like the comparisons between Omega and Boba Fett.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it kind of like the face.
Do you see the resemblance?
Kind of reminds me of Boba Fett.
You see the resemblance, right? I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that.
But yeah, so hey, if any of you guys notice a resemblance or not, please let us know in the comments below. Like if you guys notice it too, or the both of us are just tripping out, right?
Yeah. Funny enough, it reminds me of like Boba from like the prequel live action movies.
Really?
Like not necessarily like the cartoon version.
Okay.
It's kind of funny.
Okay. But one thing we know for a fact is she is in the cloning facility, so there has to be a reason why, right?
Yeah.
She's there.
Which lends itself to that maybe this is a clone. Maybe this is like a variant or like a deviant, right?
Seems very likely it could be a deviant, right? Because I mean, maybe because the fact that she's a deviant, it's gonna maybe form a bond with the Bad Batch, right? Just like how Echo was able to fit in with them, right? Because they're like quote unquote different.
Yeah, like they're different clones now, so they're like their own group now.
Yeah, so I think that's very likely going to be the case, that Omega is going to be like some sort of like deviant from like the other clones, and
and that would explain why like Omega seems to be so interested in them. Like Omega knows all their names and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. and another giveaway that Omega could very likely be a clone is the accent. So somebody did mention in the YouTube comment section, in one of the YouTube comment sections, is that is a New Zealand accent.
Okay.
Yeah. So so if you know James, I don't if you know like Tamura Morrison, the actor that played, he's from New Zealand, right? So all the clones have a New Zealand accent, and it seems like her accent is a New Zealand one too, and it kind of and I can kind of hear it like very similar to the accent that the clones use. So that seems like another giveaway. Yeah. So I'm very curious to see where Omega's gonna end up. But do you think she's gonna be like another Ahsoka kind of character?
Ahsoka in the sense of like a reoccurring character that becomes important later on.
Something like that, or just like a brand new original character that just kind of Dave Filoni created out of nowhere, and then it just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Because like we already know the clones do have accelerated like growth, so maybe they're introducing Omega now and then setting it up for later on. Maybe we'll see her in action.
So and then Omega becomes like some kind of like super soldier for the rebels or something like that.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Hey, to see like a grown up Omega or whatever. But yeah, obviously we're thinking way too far ahead. We don't even know nothing about this character yet. So
yeah.
But yeah. And then yeah. So for the so that's that with Omega. The last talking point we gotta talk about. This is a major one. The big reveal, of course, is everybody's favorite clone, good old Captain Rex, right? We see him pop up in that like scrapyard with like all the crash Venators. So what do you think? So what do you think about Rex being there? What's your immediate reaction?
I think I'm excited about it because, like you said, I like him a lot, and I'm interested in seeing more of him, right? And then I also want to see like. I'd be interested to see the journey of like him post Order 66 to where he got to that point that we saw him in Rebels.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is that's what they're going to cover in this series, because I thought they were going to cover that in the Clone Wars like season 7 finale, but then it just kind of like ended with them burying the clones, and then it just
ends really suddenly.
Yeah, exactly. Then it just
maybe it's intentional because it parallels how suddenly the Clone Wars ended.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, just ended
make
like that.
Connections.
Exactly. And but yeah, definitely we're gonna see how it's Rex from the Clone Wars is gonna how should I say this? How Clone Wars Rex is gonna like link up with Rebel Rex, right? Something like that. How they're gonna,
Because I assume that the planet that they found him on, like, he probably got there when he was still young, right? And he...
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was definitely young because this was like right after Order 66.
Yeah.
But speaking on that planet, right? Do you think that planet is Bracca from Fallen Order? So people were saying that when they saw the very first trailer. All the way back when it dropped all the way back in November, right? They saw all of the crashed ships, right? And they were saying, "Yo, could that be Bracca?" And then now we're getting a clear view that
it totally could be. I could see that.
Yeah.
I feel like the Empire would probably have multiple planets that are dedicated to breaking apart ships.
Probably.
But Bracca is a known one, right? So not use it.
And and speaking of Bracca, right? Of course, like we can't not talk about Cal Kestis.
Oh yeah, Cal Kestis.
Like, do you think
it is Bracca? Will we see him?
Will we see like the Padawan version, like little Padawan Cal roaming around Bracca?
I think that'd be cool if we did.
So how do you think how do you think the Bad Batch linked up with Rex? Like, how do you predict that whole story arc is going to play out?
I think the Bad Batch grew to trust Rex. In the arc that we saw of them in the Clone Wars. I think there was a bond formed, and so maybe once Order 66 happens and they're kind of just trying to figure out what to do, they reach out to him to see if like maybe he's like, or maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe they would assume all clones are taken. So maybe it goes the other way. Rex kind of reaches out, maybe because it's more likely that the Bad Batch would be able to escape Order 66 than other clones, because Rex was literally the only reason why he got his chip removed was because of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So maybe he links up with them, but and somehow they're just maybe working together to kind of escape the situation.
Probably, but I mean, obviously, nobody in the Bad Batch would know that Rex got his chip removed. So
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean that could definitely happen. But how I think it's gonna play out, I think it's gonna be Echo. You know, they're gonna be on the run, and Echo is gonna be like. Echo's gonna, you know, they're gonna like basically like run into a dead end. They don't know what to do. They don't know who they can trust, and then Echo's gonna be like, oh, I know one person we can trust, and then it's and then he somehow finds a way to contact Rex, because I mean, I'm pretty sure Echo still has Rex.
Well, Echo is like, he's a super hacker, right? So what if he hacks into like the Empire's databases and sees that there's a hit on Rex?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that could very likely. Yeah, they
would probably want to exterminate any clones that like refused Order 66.
Yeah. I mean that could, I think it's a very likely way how it could play out. You know, Echo just slicing into whatever computer, and or the other way, or the other thing is just, you know, Echo has Rex's number, and then he just texted Rex and be like, be like, yo, where you at? We kind of need your help, you know?
Yeah.
And
just
then,
hoping that he's okay.
Yeah, I know, checking in. It's like, hey, man, it's been a while, you know, so much, too much crazy shit has been happening. Yo, you good?
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, so, just to kind of wrap up the whole Rex thing, will we see Ahsoka? You think we see Ahsoka again?
I don't know. I think it makes sense too, because this is supposed to be like a spiritual successor, I guess, to like the Clone Wars, right? Yeah. Like it's the same.
It's a sequel. Technically, it's season 8.
It's like a soft sequel. Like it's not necessarily directly related. It's loose just like sequel. I guess. Yeah. So because of that, I think it makes sense if Ahsoka does show up.
Or do you think Ahsoka's Clone Wars arc has kind of like wrapped up like perfectly in season 7, and it's just like we don't need to see like the Clone Wars Ahsoka anymore?
Yeah, I think we don't necessarily need to, because, well, I guess they could show maybe Rex is involved in the rebellion, because we know that Ahsoka is Fulcrum in Rebels.
But not yet, though. This is still very early after like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but it could maybe show like how that comes to be. Because, after the Clone Wars, the next time we really see Ahsoka is when she's already part of the rebellion as Fulcrum.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to show the journey. Maybe they want to touch on it. If they didn't, that's fine though. I think.
Yeah, I will kind of disagree on that, because this is a show about the Bad Batch, so.
Yeah, so maybe it'd be too much to tackle to have her in it.
Yeah, and it seems like that planet that Rex is on, right? The Bracca looking planet. Well, if it is Bracca, then for sure it's gonna be a different planet than the planet they crash landed on, which means they probably went their separate ways already. So, but yeah, so that's that with all of our major takeaways for the Bad Batch, for the new Bad Batch trailer that's come out. We might get another trailer sometime during April, closer to the release date on May 4th. But yeah, so just, I guess before we wrap the video, this just kind of came to my head. So we're kind of jumping the gun here a little bit. So James, how do you think this show is gonna end?
How does it end?
Yeah, how do you think it's gonna end? This is actually pretty hard. Like I don't know how this is gonna end. So like, you know, I'm gonna see if you can think of.
Well, I'm thinking like we don't ever see them again, right? So
for now, I guess you can say
it end pretty badly, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it ends with all the Bad Batch being successfully exterminated.
Oh man, that would be dark. That would be dark.
I'm not sure,
would you want that?
They could also explain maybe why we don't see them in other events.
Maybe,
after Order 66.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like they could like they're there, but they're not like just in the frame.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna they're definitely gonna cover like, you know, why they aren't in like Rebels and like onwards, right? During the Civil War, right?
Yeah.
Between the rebels and the
We're making
Empire.
predictions though. I'm just gonna call it, yo. They're all gonna die.
They're all gonna die. Okay,
Rex, except Rex.
Except Rex, of course, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we know Rex lived all the way past Endor, right? He's wow, that's you're going all
See
the
what
way
happens.
there. Eh?
Yeah, I'm going all in on that.
All in on that. That the Bad Batch are gonna get wiped out, right?
Maybe the kid survives, but
Maybe the kid survives. I think the
No,
kid's
they
gonna
wouldn't
survive.
kill a kid.
They're not. Nah, I don't think they're gonna introduce this one kid and then like kill her off
Yeah.
after one show, right? Because like, what if the kid ends up being like super popular? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, imagine if Ahsoka died in the Clone Wars movie, the 2008 movie,
Yeah.
or actually, well, Ahsoka wasn't really popular then, but you know, but yeah, you
Yeah.
know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Like yeah.
Yeah. But wow, since you're going there, that seems like a, you know what, man? I'm gonna call you out on that. That seems like a very easy cop out answer. They're all just gonna die. Eh?
It'll be neat.
It'll be neat.
Yeah, neat and tidy.
What? So
Loose strands, you know.
so what? They're gonna fight Crosshairs, and all five of them just gonna kill each other.
Yeah. Crosshairs is gonna take them all out.
Oh wow.
Of a grenade that he stuck on Crosshairs after he gets taken out.
Oh, so this is gonna be like it's the grenade thing. That's like Leon, right? Have you watched a movie, Leon the Professional?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, but basically, spoiler alert. That's how the movie ends with the
Oh
stick
yeah.
and the grenade.
So he gets taken out, but he takes the guy,
the
like
bad guy.
he trips
Yeah,
on him.
that's like the first thing I remember when you said.
It's like a Call of Duty: Death from the Grave.
Basically, yeah. When they stuck the grenade on him, when you said they stuck the grenade, that's like the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my wild prediction. We'll see if it comes true.
You know what? If you're going with a wild prediction, you know what? I'm gonna go with a more like softer ending. I think they're just gonna flat out retire.
Okay, so like maybe they're trying to escape and find peace for the kid. That's how they.
Yeah.
Like, the series ends with them actually finding a peaceful life.
They raise the kid as four dads, four single dads.
Okay.
Four dads raising one kid. Or
Could happen.
either that or they just become like bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the plot description says that they do take on like mercenary missions, so they very well could become bounty hunters, right? During the age of during the imperial the
rule.
the imperial time, yeah. So
Yeah. The dark times.
yeah, so yeah, that's our little prediction on how this show is gonna end, right? Assuming it ends after one season, right? So if you guys have your own prediction on how this show is gonna end, let us know down in the comments below. We'd love to see what you guys all think about it. But yeah, so that does it for this video. If you guys like this video, please make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And we will see you in the near future. Peace.
Yep. Peace out.